Baldur's Gate 3 just came out, to thunderous applause from every corner of the gaming industry. You know, except for those throgs on Metacritic. If you want to see that, I suggest you check out my video where I went over some of these reviews, until both my brain and my vocal cords stung from a combination of the great mental fortitude and physical effort required to immerse oneself in the mindset of a TikTok attention span addled, hyper-reactionary modern gamer, for which only a baby bottle battle pass coated in the dilaudid of epic skins and FOMO could pacify. Seriously, getting into that mindset drove me absolutely bananas. Some discourse around this game has been engaging, but by and large, the majority of people will post about their favorite characters and only scratch the surface narratively of why Baldur's Gate 3's story works so well. Or you know, these kind of people. As per the title of this video, I'm currently lazing my way through Act 3, and I figured a documentation of the process would be fitting. I'll set the stage. In Act 1, you are greeted with a hyper-disturbing, high-budget cutscene. You and your fellow Origin characters are stuck on a Mind Flayer vessel and implanted with a tadpole. The imagery in this section of the game gives a very strong message to the player. This shit is bad. So naturally, as the story progressed through its opening hours, using anything related to the tadpole's influence was a complete non-starter for me. My barbarian doesn't need no stinking squid abilities. He's a strong dude made of rock-hard muscles and stone, looking to beat the cum out of a fresh, strong oak. These abilities are beneath my player character, or so I thought. Several times, the story presents you with obvious get-out-of-jail-free cards for you succumbing to the tadpole's influence. Some NPCs won't dare mess with a true soul, as you are quickly becoming known. Fuck that. These tadpole-infected sheep want to worship some newfangled god? They must die! For my barbarian still wants nothing more than to rip every tentacled monster limb from limb. And so do I. Ilithid persuasion usually works better, but what also works better is yelling to solve your problems. So I progress through the goblin camp, effectively screaming my way past the gate guards. Then, instead of engaging in any dialogue once inside the camp, I go in and start killing every true soul and believer inside. Yes, even Minthrara. They're all dead, but I'm starting to feel underpowered in a way compared to my companions. They all have great spells for crowd control and cool abilities, but I'm just a guy chucking bricks and slinging swords, more or less. My character isn't substantially weaker than my companions, far from it, but I can't help but feel that I'm missing something. As you kill true souls, you have the opportunity to harvest their tadpoles and consume them for more power. The initial ring of abilities looks really weak and not very worth it. The potential downsides or compromising on my unbridled rage against my would-be enslavers. The parasite is a colonizer to my mind, and I will not be swayed. Pfft, those abilities look bad anyway. Soon after, you begin to have a customizable NPC coming to you in your dreams, telling you that you need to embrace the tadpole to have any chance of surviving. Nice try, tadpole. I don't care if the drow muscle mommy I painstakingly designed to be my guardian is telling me to get down with the tentacle. Nothing will set my barbarian off his true path of carving a bloody swath through the legions of true souls using nothing but a bare chest and unyielding white-hot rage. You can't fool me, muscle mommy. I'm onto you. So I finish up the camp, and the following celebrations. Lae'zel propositions me. I accept, naturally. And then it's off to the Underdark, my favorite area of the game. This is where I'm really starting to grapple with the idea that my character is missing something. We fight the Spectator and get to level 5 as a result. My martial character gains another attack, and my caster gets access to 3rd level spells. Suddenly, Gale is blasting goons with fireballs and all manner of crowd control. I know I want to gain some of that power, something to make my character feel like my own. So we venture into the Myconoid colony, unsure of what to expect of these horrible fungus zombies. But turns out, they're actually pretty chill. Big surprise. I'm still hunting for a way to remove the Mind Flayer parasite. This is where the course of my adventure changed when I met a specific character, Omelium, a free Mind Flayer, who instantly has the party on guard. Within minutes, though, he demonstrates himself to be a trustworthy figure. His words are calming, and the explanation he gives instantly ingratiated him in my mind. I should trust him. He tells you that he can possibly remove the parasite by dispelling the magic that keeps it dormant, by imbibing a special potion made from ingredients around the Underdark. So I make the squid potion and slap it back while Omelium starts trying to interface with the tadpole. And predictably, things don't go quite right. Despite his noble intentions, the parasite has grown stronger and bestowed upon me a new ability, Survival Instinct, allowing me to prevent one down on myself or a teammate. Pretty good, kinda cool. Neat to have something that adds utility to my martial character. Just for curiosity though, I then went in to go open up the Ilithid menu to see where this skill slots in. Then I started reading more closely. This process had now unlocked to the descriptions of abilities like Stage Fright, Force Tunnel, Concentrated Blast, Call the Weak, and Displace. And that's when the initial switch flipped in my brain. I realized just how very useful the tadpole could be. By unlocking the ability for me to see these descriptions by giving me one power, it had now swayed me just a bit. These abilities were the key to me becoming the demigod barbarian I was dreaming of. All I had to do was eat a tadpole or two. I used a few of the many I had stashed at this point to get Displace and left it there for now. Moving on to the Githyanki Crescent Act 2 is where things got way more interesting. At this point, I was still grappling with just how far I would be willing to transform in the pursuit of power. In fact, I was still mostly in the camp that I was going to use the promised Githyanki Zaith'isk that Laziel would not shut up about, and so I did. When presented the opportunity, I told Laziel to shove it. I was going first, which she approved of, by the way. Once inside the machine, it was readily apparent that the device was not meant to cure so much as cull. But lucky for me and the multiple feats and buffs I had, I was able to withstand all of those saving throws on the Zaith'isk and come out unscathed. In fact, I came out better. I was now awakened.
Incredible. Your parasite is even stronger now.
Awakened, a literal permanent status buff that allows your character to cast all Ilithid powers as a bonus action. This is the most significant power spike for any character in the game. Suddenly, my barbarian felt like a literal god amongst the party, being able to dish out crazy damage with all of the passive feats that Ilithid bestows on you, along with the ability to use insanely powerful spells after I had already spent my attacks. Yeah, now my character fucks. I instantly decided that, fuck it, this stat is way too good to ignore. I decided to consume every last one of the tadpoles I had gathered to that point. The resulting power spike was glorious. I had tasted the power of Act 1 and 2 Ilithid powers, and there was no going back. Being able to dispense some of the nastiest crowd control on an action that is reserved for shoving or jumping on all of my other characters corrupted my morals completely. I had started the game vilifying anyone who would dare accept the influence of the Absolute, but now the tadpole could serve me in a way to further my goals. Really, I'm just shocked at how well this game kept poking, prodding, and baiting me into accepting the tentacle. It wasn't a spur-of-the-moment decision either. It was an iterative process that took 40 hours to change my mind in such a drastic way. Power tends to corrupt, but the Absolute's power corrupts absolutely. I took a 40-hour journey to reach this point, and the spark of that corruption came from a genuinely good, aligned NPC who was trying to help me remove the parasite. His slight mistake set me down a completely different path than I had envisioned for my first playthrough. And that is so fucking refreshing. Some of your companions will admonish you for this decision, but they are inferior to me, the awakened barbarian. that could probably handle the whole rest of the game as a solo act. These decisions become even more relevant in Act 3, which I have just started, so no spoilers please. I would love to hear what you guys think. This was my experience, and honestly was one of the most poignant self-reflections I have ever dealt with when it comes to moral choices in a video game. I doubt I ever would have accepted a single Ilithid ability if it was not for Omelium acting out of genuine concern for my character, and to me, that is mind-blowing.